Hi, my name is Kanisha, but when I was a kid, my nickname was Kiki. I want to put a picture up after this video of the age I'm starting at. This is straight from my inner child. Yes. I want to speak to my abusers. Yes. I'm ready to talk again. Here goes. I want to talk about things I didn't like. It's really not funny. I have a nervous laugh when I get anxious. Talking about these things makes me a little bit anxious. But I have skill set now, and I didn't have it then. I know how to work myself back down to calm. Versus where I used to be. I would become anxious and stay anxious, not knowing that I was anxious. I didn't like a lot of things because I was confused mostly, and I felt rejected a lot, but accepted at the same time is weird. Now I realize it's because it was manipulation. That's what made it feel like I was accepted and rejected at the same time. Isn't it funny how we translate things when we were children versus now that we're adults? Yeah, it's interesting to me. One of the things I didn't like the most was crack valves. I didn't like that I found out that what I were collecting off the ground, just because they had different colors, were indeed drugs. I didn't like that. I also didn't like that you caused me to have a trauma bond with my siblings. My siblings. I had no clue the way I was showing up in my sister's life. She would say things sometimes. I always would wonder what she meant, but I didn't know. She experienced me as a pushover, someone that walked on eggshells for my mother, someone that didn't stand up for herself, when all the while my abuser trained me to be that way as young as the age you're looking at. Yeah, I just didn't know it. I thought it was parenting because it was done when the trusted adult wasn't around that was healthier. I didn't put one and one together. I was too impulsive, see? But nonetheless, yeah. That's how he trained me to be. It's unfortunate, but it's legit. When you start abusing a child in the early ages, as elementary school or younger, they're not going to grow up aware that they were coached, that they were manipulated, unless they have some type of divine knowing or gut feeling spiritually, I believe. But there's a large group of children that are cognitively challenged, if you will. So certain things that might pop up in a kid's mind that's more logical as a little kid, emotional children struggle in that kind of a way. And that was me. I didn't understand. And none of my parents understood my behavior. Well, at least one of them didn't. I do believe that both parents did the best they can. I believe that. I don't think any sane, rational person, sorry, I stutter, wants to just abuse their children when they're born, outside of psychopaths, maybe even an unhealthy traumatized sociopath? Maybe, but for the most part, most parents want to do their best. But boy, did this person screw me up. I had no clue I was turned into the black sheep. So another thing I didn't like is how you would steal things from me. And then if I stole them back, you come to my room, headbutt and choke me. I didn't like that. I also didn't like that you spread lies about me. And a lot of people believe these lies because they didn't know you had me around you while you were having sex with women, doing drugs. Yeah, you did. I remember one time I found a empty pen. You know those clear ballpoint pens where you can see straight through them, you can see the ink inside, you can unscrew the bottom. That pen, it was no ink inside, but it was burned on the tip. And I remember smelling it. It stank. And then I learned later it was turned into a crack pipe. I didn't know I was playing with drug paraphernalia because of the addiction problem you had. You didn't tell me this. Why? Why'd you expose me to so much sex? It caused me to be confused because you didn't explain what I was looking at. I had to figure it out while protecting one of my younger siblings that was too young to protect themselves. And I didn't really know what I was doing. Because you see, in the trauma bond you helped me create with her, I was overprotective towards her when I seen her disassociate from molestation. Yeah. Did you know she doesn't even remember it? She has no clue. That's trauma. When the trauma is too large, if you're too young or not able to cope in the moment, some people disassociate and leave mentally while the body is physically being abused. I strongly believe this is what happened to her, which forced her to create an alter ego. Because when I tried to tell you what that little boy did to her and eventually me, you punched me in the mouth. Why? Your actions always communicated violence towards me, and your words would communicate that you loved me, but also bullied me. So I would cling to that little bit of love often until I completely gave up. I know you remember how disrespectful I was towards you my teenage years. I've asked God for forgiveness for those times. I can agree I was disrespectful. I didn't know how to respect you anymore after I realized you wanted to turn me against my mother. One of the two, maybe 3, 4 people in my life back then that authentically accepted me for who I was when everyone else was controlling me with guilt, shame. And it worked because you set me up for that approval trap. Thanks again for that one. Had to learn the hard way that that's what was going on with me. You see, no one understands our trauma but us, even if we're ignorant. It's our job to learn what's happened to us in order to heal, or else we'll be doomed to suffer as adults and traumatize our children by default. I'll be back with more ranting about my experiences that were depressing as I unpack and excel in life. I hope this helps someone come from under the rock they're hiding under. You can heal. God is with you. I have healed and I'm healing. I love everyone. I'll be back.